Get over here, man. Film them over here. Everybody's in here. Big
You're a
happy
side.
family.
Good morning. Tell what you're doing.
Are we on Incredible Tiny Homes?
You're on Incredible Tiny Homes Facebook Live.
We're good.
Randy.
Look here. You guys ready to listen to a special speaker? No, it's my long handles.
What the?
I might get cold.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you ready? Where you from?
From Niceville, Florida.
Niceville, Florida. And are you from Niceville, Florida too? Who's this guy behind you? My dad.
My dad.
My dad.
That's
Let's
my
go
dad.
in here. Come on, we're gonna
Come
give
on.
a talk.
We're
I don't know
ready.
what we're gonna say, but we're gonna get going.
I know everybody's asking what you're going to say, and I was like, really? I don't know what he's going to say. Today is the Tennessee Orange, the shirts with the Tennessee Jam.
Yep.
Woo! Thank you.
Good, buddy.
Getting
All
ready
right.
to speak. And he said the mic is hot.
Mike is hot. We need a hot
Morning.
mic.
Morning.
Do we need to open these
Good
up?
morning, everybody. Morning. Hi.
Hello.
You're the cheerleader.
Howdy. Yes, the cheerleader.
Can you make me a little cup? Okay. Have a cup of make it. Come on.
You don't know how to make coffee.
She can make coffee. If you can't make coffee, you gotta go home.
I think they're. Oh, they are.
Look, we just go like this. Cram something in there like that.
Which one's the coffee cup?
I don't know.
There you go.
That one right there, I think, over there, in the silver.
Oh, there you go. Look, I need a stool.
Oh my God, Randy, you're not tall enough to talk. What are you gonna stand on, Brian? He needs something to stand on. Help, Brian, help!
She's hot, Brian.
Brian, he told your daughter to go home because she couldn't make coffee. It's very sad.
But I'm a strong guy. Ain't coming down.
Justice,
No!
it's not on.
Probably don't need it.
We are massively professional around here. That's why.
Right. Okay.
What's that? What's this lever do?
But wait for Brian. I don't know.
He's yelling for somebody.
She said, "Don't mess."
Don't mess with it.
Let me go on this side. I've got a glare over here. Yeah, tell him not to mess with it, Maury. What's happening with
Nobody
him?
would be here by this. It was hot.
Hey, everybody, wave to Facebook Live. Hey, good morning. Oh yeah. Where's everybody from? Nashville. There you go. Florida. Ohio. Colorado. Over there. There she is. Woo! Where's our lady who's from Canada? She's somewhere. She's from Canada. That's awesome. Hey.
Check 1, 2.
Oh yeah.
All right, there we
All
go.
right.
Somebody unplugged it. Uh-oh. I don't know how that happened. No biggie. This, are you gonna put this table with all the coffee and stuff on the day? We can move it. It's not really in the way or anything, I mean, but I was, because if it Randy would get a bucket.
Oh, did he?
You find a bucket?
So we're hot now.
We're hot. You're hot, baby.
Yeah. You know, this gentleman's getting ready to talk. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
How are you?
Thank you for your music. What's your name? Randy.
Randy, you're the man. This is your deal.
You're the man.
All right. Well,
Thanks for singing last night, man.
Thanks. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good.
Thanks, Randy.
Everybody's up listening to it. It's nice. People laying in their tents listening to it. It's nice.
Heard it in the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Oh, preaches. Losing them.
No, I don't need a lid, Marty.
I know. I'm fixing it. They're everywhere.
Oh, okay. Good job.
He told her, he said, fix me some coffee. She went, I don't know how. He said, then you need to go home. It's like she's little. She's not going home.
I don't know how to drive.
You don't know how to drive.
I only know how to drive a golf cart.
To drive a golf cart back to Knoxville.
Fine. Just leave it. 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 Go sit somewhere, okay?
Everybody is waiting to hear Randy speak. Nobody knows what he's going to say. No one ever knows what he's going to say. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions.
Man, did you tell everybody out there I'm good?
I told everybody, holler out on the thing, say, come on.
Hey, everybody, Randy Jones is going to talk in a couple minutes.
We lost you.
I don't know what happened.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Oh, I know what happened.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Randy. Hi, Randy. Hi.
Did I yell too loud?
Yeah, it shuts off.
Shuts
It's
you
too
down,
loud,
don't
the
it?
signal.
I need one of those.
You should be good. Is that enough volume for you?
Hello.
Oh, you're gonna say what's going on? Yeah, I got that.
He'll tell the scram.
Oh, okay, so I'll be right back. Okay. You want to hook it up? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Testing, testing.
Yay, good job, Maury.
Are you ready? Look. I'm there, and we don't use sound equipment when we do Facebook Live. As you guys know, we use a cell phone and go.
Alyssa's cell phone.
Wow, this is awesome. This is probably the biggest live crowd that I've got to talk to. Since we've been doing business, it's hard hearing myself talk up here. Can y'all hear me back there? You're good.
Woo!
Thank you for
Yay!
coming to our first annual Incredible Tiny Home Ball Dance. I come in here this morning and seen all the campers all along the sides. It was awesome to see it. When I left last night, campfires going and stuff. I left out of here about 12:30. Thank you so much for coming. All the guys, we were talking. It's just amazing to have you guys interested in what we do, and we build homes, and we're just like you. We're just regular guys out here trying to build homes and a life and make a living, and to see you guys have and enjoy what we do and be excited and drive all the way across the country. Somebody from California drove here they left Wednesday and got here last night. Texas, Chicago, is it Jersey, Pennsylvania,
Canada,
good,
Colorado,
New Hampshire, Arizona, Nashville. That's unbelievable. And as you guys know, I don't know how many Facebooks that you've seen of our videos. We try to show everything that we do, good and bad and the ugly, like you guys have seen. But this county, Newport, which is Cock County, this is the name of the Cock County, and they have opened their arms to us. And they said, we want you in our community. A lot of people have asked us about zoning and about codes and regulations and all that stuff. You build? That's right.
Yeah.
I would love to make this the capital of tiny homes in the United States.
That's right, yeah.
They are welcome. They welcome us in here. The state of Tennessee tells us that we can only, if any discharge comes out of your house, from a shower, from a sink, from anything, it has to have a sewer system. So I went to Nashville, the capital, and had an attorney, an environmental attorney, and we sat down with the TDEC, is what they call it. And I said, if I get an osmosis system and it spits out 100% pure water, you mean I still got to have a sewer system? And they said, yes. And my attorney looked over and he said, you're kidding me. He said, no, you have to have it. But what they were thinking is, well, what if that osmosis system doesn't work and then you just keep discharging? So you got contaminated water. So when we left, you guys probably seen a video. We thought we would get that company called First Straw. I think it's First Straw, is it?
Life Straw, Randy.
Life Straw. And we poured water in and it was a mess. And it didn't turn out. And then the volume of water didn't work. So then John came on with us in Incredible Tiny Homes. He came on and I told John, this is what I've got. I want this concept where we can take all our gray water and never discharge. And it may make some people squeamish about not discharging water. That means you're filtering all the water that you use in your home. So we called around and Sherry was working with us then too, and she found the guy who created the system that went on the space station. Okay, and he's in Alabama, and he devised the same, and he does it commercially. He sells his system. He said, yeah, you can take your gray water, you can take it can even contain fecal matter, or even it could have urine in it, anything. It'll filter it out. And then you add a charcoal filter, a sediment charcoal filter, and it's potable. You can drink it. So then we took it a step further and added 2 more filters to that. Then the volume wasn't work. I mean, the pressure blew the thing up, blew the glass thing up. He's like, oh, we got to turn it down. Then we had, John did all this. Wherever John, he'll be coming. He's speaking next. But he devised all that stuff. He said, Randy, we got to get a pressure reducer valve here, the switch, a relay. Anyway, we come up with this system that we have in the back that you guys will see later on today. And we can take that creek water right out here, pour it in there, filter it, and we can drink it. And I think it's so awesome now that we could take a tiny home and put it out in I always say, put it in the harshest conditions. To me, it's a desert where it's not going to rain. You know, and we can set you in the middle of the desert with a 500-gallon of water, start you out with water. We got the solar system and the water, and then, of course, a compost toilet. And you're good. You're good for maybe a year with nobody coming and knocking on your door, nobody giving you water, nobody giving you electricity. So that opens up the junkiest land in the nation to park a home. So now we can take land that nobody wants, won't perk, people are saying, I don't want to live there, but we can live there in our tiny houses. Isn't that awesome? I've developed land. I had a resort near Pigeon Forge, and it was called Brothers Cove. And I used to teach high school. I guess, I don't know if, maybe not everybody knows me here that have seen me. I don't know, a couple people said they wanted to hear a little bit about me. I don't want to bore you all if you've already heard, I think we all have a great story about where we're at and who we are. And I don't consider myself any more special than anyone here. You all have just awesome stories that I've talked to already. But you're here at our jam, so if you want to, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm just like you. I was born really up in Detroit, south of Detroit, what's that? Yeah, it was up. Well, my parents are from Kentucky, West Virginia. They moved up there in the 50s. And to work in the mills, Dad wanted to get out of the coal mines. And so I was born up there, had no family. I was raised in a southern home in a northern town. Loved it. It was like Mayberry RFD up there. It was perfect. And then when I got 19, I headed out. And I went to Florida, and I finished college. And I wanted to reside back, and not in West Virginia, but near there, because that's where my family's from. And we come to Tennessee. And so glad we did. I taught school for 3 years in Knox County. Got out of that, got into construction, and didn't really know anything about construction. I built my own home, my first home when I was teaching school. I took a carpenter's book and opened it up and said, there's 2x4s, and that's how it's built. And I never run. My mom lost her finger when she was a young girl in the mill when she was working in Cleveland, Ohio. And so she would never let me grab saws, tools, anything. And my dad, he was such a hard-working guy out of the coal mines and everything, and he said, son, don't get a job until you're out of high school. He said, just don't do it. Because once a day you start, you'll never quit working. Enjoy your high school, enjoy your youth. And I did that. And I never give them any problems, my folks, And so he was able to just do that. And I wasn't great at sports. I played them. I wasn't the smartest. I didn't get straight A's. I was just your average guy. And went to college. They told me I couldn't go to college because they said I wasn't the college type. You know, the counselor said, you just need to do something else. So
That was Chuck laughing.
I went 2 years and had a 1.8 grade point average, you know. And I didn't party or anything. I'm like, oh my God, it's just so hard, you know. So then I quit college for 3 years and went back. And I remember I was, I liked to work out a lot back then, and I'd sit down on the workout machine. I looked in the mirror after being gone 3 years, and I said, you know, it's time to get yourself together. And I got up, left the gym, and never went back. And I made the dean's list for 2 years. Yep, it was awesome. And I raised that 1.8 to a 2.8. It took 2 years, but I got it out of there. And so I became a school teacher. And when I went to the counselor, they said, what do you want to teach? I said, I don't care what I teach. I just want to teach something. Get me in the classroom. I just want to be with these kids. I don't want to motivate them. I want to get them pumped up. I wanted to just change lives. He said, you can teach shop. I said, what's shop? He said, you know, wood shop. I said, oh, that'd be awesome. I'll do it. I hadn't had shop since I was in 7th grade. He said, take it. I said, good. I said, can you get me out of here in 2 years? I can't stay in college. I got to get out of here. So I took 2 years later. I became a shop teacher and moved down to Tennessee. I could have taught in my hometown in Michigan, my home high school where I went to school, for $32,000 a year in 1987. And then I said, no, I want to go to the mountains of Tennessee. And I came to La Follette, and they offered me $16,000 a year. I said, I'm going. I packed up and went to Tennessee. Because my dad, I've seen him all his life, and I think this is going to pertain to all of us here. My dad, he's 94. He's still living. Maybe you all seen him on Facebook. Every day of my life, I remember him complaining about his job. He complained about living in Michigan because he was a southern guy, you know, and he moved up there for work. Michigan's a beautiful place, but it wasn't his home. He complained about the work. He worked in the steel mill where he come home with burns all in his holes in his shirts from the slap and everything popping out on him. And I just heard that, and I thought to myself, he raced to retire. He couldn't wait to retire. He's been retired now longer than he worked. And so he beat the system, you know. I would not work at something that I wasn't happy with.
Exactly.
And I thought, we live in America. We have immigrants that come to this country and are massively successful. Why? It's because they know what it's like back home. They know that there's nothing to go back to. You know, if they're here long enough, a lot of times you'll see the immigrants will come here, and after a while they become Americanized. You know, and then they work like us and stuff, but and they look like us because we get lackadaisy. You know, we got all this food, we got all this opportunity, and we become a little lax. And so when I heard my dad say he complained every day about getting up and going to work, I said, no, I don't care. I don't want to worry about money and let money drive me, or retirement. I'm not going to work. I could have worked at Ford Motor Company and been retired by now. I didn't want to do that. I hope I never retire. I hope I'm working with something till I'm dead in the ground. You know, I don't want to stop. I don't think we were built to stop. Your body's made to keep moving, you know. And so anyway, that's what I've done. I taught school. When I got teaching school, I found out that I just couldn't be in a building all the time. One building all the time. And I didn't know that about myself, but I just had to be outside. So I got into construction and, all this, got my builder's license for 20-some years. So I started it with nothing. I built my first home that I told you I read a book about. I built it out of rough cut lumber. I didn't know how to run a chainsaw. And I started cutting them, and people had heard. I'm like, I don't even know how to cut a tree down, and we'll build a house out of these trees, you know? So I ended up trading I had an old pickup truck, and I traded it for a teacher. He had a 58 dump truck. He said, let's swap even. I said, great. Will it pull those trees down off the the rest of them? He said, oh, yeah, take a chain to it, pull it. I tied the chain, pulled them all down. I said, how am I going to get them on the truck? I can't lift them, you know. So I went to a local sawmill, and I seen this little old bitty guy, little scrawny guy, he's 82 years old, loading these logs that were massive by himself on his own truck. So I looked at him. I was sitting in my car, and I'm just looking at him. In my mom's 78 Chevette is what I was sitting in. And I'm sitting over there looking at him, and he had his truck here, and he had a chain here, and he rolled the log here, and he took another chain, and he hooked it to his tractor, and that log rolled right up on the truck.
Okay, man.
I got a Chevette. I got a truck and I can go buy some chain, right? So I went and bought some chains, hooked it to my Chevette, and loaded them logs on that truck. 30 truckloads later, I found a sawmill. I took them to the sawmill and dumped them, and I loaded and loaded and loaded and loaded and loaded all summer long when I was teaching school. 8 months later, I vowed to myself I wouldn't move into that house until it was completely done. And I didn't think about it, but I moved into a small, tiny house. It was 14 by 16, and that big piece of glass we got in that home, I had 1 glass, 2 glass, 3 glass, 4. It looked like an aquarium. I had a wire strung with all our clothes. We had a water bed, turned it up, because we didn't know heat in the house. I turned up that water bed, kept it toasty, you know. So it stayed there, and I vowed I would not move into the house until we were completely done. So 8 months later, moved in. This part of my hand went numb for a year. Part of my foot went numb for a year. I had not one person help me on the house. Finished it with 3,000 square feet. Kept it for 5 years and sold it. I borrowed $30,000 from the Teachers Credit Union. They said you'd never be able to do it. I said, I've heard that before. I said, but I built it anyway. Built it, done it, and 5 years later sold it for $160,000. I was like, I hit the lottery. So then I took $160,000. I said I always wanted a mountain farm. And so I bought 170 acres right outside of Pigeon Forge. I thought I'm going to raise my family right there. And then about 3 years, about a year later, I met a guy who has a log home company, and he said, well, you want to build homes for me? So I started building homes. He said, we need to develop your land. You develop your land. These rental companies and these cabins are going up everywhere in his county. He said, let's go. I'm on the board of the bank. We'll get you some money. Let's go. And I was like, oh, I'm debt free. I don't want to do this. So anyway, I did it. Borrowed $500,000. And I developed a loop on our property. It only took up about 20 acres. And there was 23 home sites. And I'm like, what am I going to do now? I've spent all $500,000 and I have nobody buying a house from me. So I had a friend that always liked, he was a bachelor out of Nashville. He loved what we did, loved our property. So I said, if I'll build you a house for under $30,000 under appraised value, would you buy it? He goes, definitely. And I said, well, I'll rent it out for you because we bought it on a rental program for a solid year. And I gave him 100% of the money back. The word got out and I built 10 homes that year. 10 homes. And it went from there. And 8 years later, we had 72 homes, 3 offices on the cover of Southern Living magazine. We were featured all over it, and it was it was just 4 miles of roads, infrastructure, water systems, sewer, power, and developed it all. And never had a blueprint, never had a contract. There was always a handshake. And now every blueprint I draw it up myself on an 8.5 by 11, and they were $600,000 homes. I think when I look back at that, I look at everybody in here has the potential of doing that. Everybody does. It's just a matter of focusing in what you want to do. Did my back hurt? Definitely every day. Did my feet hurt? Yes, they hurt every day. Did I need sleep? I only slept 4 or 5 hours a day. I was raising 2 boys, doing a company, and had guys working. I physically worked, hauled logs. You can ask Tom. Brian was there. We would race with logs on our backs. The guys were all 20 years younger than me. And I took them all, and we just built that tire resort, and it was excellent. And then, of course, in 09, 08, when the economy hit, I was in debt and had 3 $1 million homes going up, and the guy never got to close on them because he lost everything. The water turned off. A year later, I walked, and I was gone. Walked away with nothing. Now, when somebody says, yeah, I lost something, I lost all. No. Usually you got a house. Usually you got a bulldozer. Usually you got some equipment. Usually you got some investment. Usually you got money cast somewhere under the ground in a mason jar. I had nothing. I'm talking I had a 97 diesel pickup truck and a skill saw. And walked away. And lived in a buddy's camper on a buddy's piece of property. It wasn't my camper. Yeah, and I got down. I got tired. I went through a divorce a couple years before that. Had nothing to do with the business. So I was low. I never thought I could ever get dark because I've never been depressed. I've never had anxiety. I've never had any of that stuff. And I'm like, I think this is depression. It's like, I don't want to open the blinds and all I want to do is sleep. How come is that, So after I found somebody who's depressed too, they said, yeah, that's what I do. I said, yeah, I know what that's about. So then my stomach got hungry, and I was like, I need food, And so I said, I got to find work and do something. So here I am, almost 50 years old, starting all over, working next to guys that are 18, 19 years old. I had a buddy in Michigan where we got our RDA 8 certification. He's an engineer. He said, come on up and work in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I went back up there in the middle of the winter, working next to these boys, digging holes and trucking and working like a young man again. And the only reason I was able to do it is I have halfway took care of myself growing up, and I haven't, I was physically able to take it on, but it was hard mentally. So I had no place to go, and my dad worked all his life and complaining about his job. So when you all talk about tiny homes, to me, that's why when our slogan says, choose tiny, live free, right? And that's what it's about. That's why I scream out freedom all the time. I had a trip to Hawaii that I wanted to work in Hawaii. I thought, I'll relocate my life. I built a restaurant in Phoenix from my buddy, the engineer. He paid me to be there. So he flew me over there to Hawaii. I said, I'm going to start my life over. And I went to a meeting. It was the NA, Narcotics Anonymous meeting. And because I went to a meeting, and here's all these guys, and I loved them. I fell in love with these guys. We're in a church meeting, right? And these guys are using the most worst language you ever heard in your life. Terrible language. So we're like, the roof's going to come down on us, right? And they started crying, and they started weeping, and they started loving on each other, and it changed me. And I was like, wow, this is what it's about. God doesn't care what goes on in this place. He cares about what's going on right there. He didn't care how you say it, how it sounds, or what you look like, or how you act. He cares about loving each other. And that changed me right there. And one of the guys, I was there about 2 months, and he said to me, he says, we all hurt. We've lost our families. We've lost everything. He said, our families don't even want to talk to us anymore because of what we've stole cash from my mom and my grandma for drugs. He said, we don't have driver's license. We've been in jail. We're felons. We have pain in our life. And he said, when I look at you, he said, you got more pain than we do. He said, I can see it. And when he told me that, I was like, yeah. And I did. Because I missed my boys. I felt like I lost my dream. I didn't have anything to live for. I had no purpose. And he said, you hurt more than we do. So I left there and came back. And about a year later, I built my first tiny home. And I knew right then, I said, there's something about this that I can add my energy in my life to this. And it was a dream. My first house I built, in my mind, just like when I walked on my resort back in 98, I seen the entire resort in my head. It flashed before me. I swear I could see the roads. I seen the houses. I seen it, and it ended up 8 years later. It was exactly what I seen when I first walked onto my property. Well, all the trees were mangled. Well, when I started the tiny home, I finished my first house and took it to Durham, North Carolina. It was on a used trailer, on used material. I didn't have any money to build it, right? So I went to a salvage yard in town, and I said, if I clean up your lot, would you give me the wood that's any good in the pile? He said, you can have it. And he said, matter of fact, you can use my truck to truck it back. And I built it in Amanda's backyard. So I took all the wood over there. My buddy gave me a trailer, and I built everything by myself. It took me, 4 or 5 weeks, built the house. And I put it on a tiny house. It was a tiny house listings. You probably have all seen that. And back then it was just starting out. Put it on there. And I sold it it was $20,000. Had a little solar on it, had a little windmill on it. It was called American Freedom. People bombarded my phone. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know about tumbleweed. 10 orders that day. And that was Memorial Day 2.5 years ago. So this Memorial Day will be 3 years. Yeah. So when I built that trailer was a used trailer. So when we hooked it to a U-Haul truck, because I didn't have any, I didn't have a truck. I hooked it to a U-Haul trailer. And when we went down the interstate, when I got 37 miles an hour, it started fishtailing like this. Just wobbling everywhere. So I took 12 hours getting from here to Durham. Then we got a hotel, stayed, my buddy and I, he went with me. We got there at midnight, got up at 6, started up, and we didn't finish setting that up until 11 o'clock that next evening. And it was 4 foot in the front, jacked up, hitting the bottom down here. And we had to tie it to a tree to keep it falling down. My first one, it was just a mess. But the people were wonderful. And I come back home and we built the other 9. And it was been amazing because people, I have a young lady in Texas, her name's Tabitha. She's got 2 daughters. She called me. She said, "Randy, I seen your video on YouTube and Facebook. It was YouTube then." And she said, "I've been looking for 4 years for somebody to build me a home." And she said, "I told my mom when we seen you on YouTube," she said, "I want him to build me my house." You know, and she sent me money, wired it to my account, and didn't even know me. You know, $12,500 she sent me. And I called her up. I didn't know her. I was calling Tabitha. "What are you doing?" She goes, "Randy, I just trust you. I got a feeling about you, you know." Man, of course, she got her house. We're still friends. We still text. We still talk. And she's good. And we've had to, you know, a couple pumps went out. She's completely off grid. 100% off grid for about 1.5 years now. She's off grid. Or no, it's almost 2 years now, isn't it? And so she's been a testimony of what we did and her generosity and believing in what we do. So for you all to be here is such a compliment. And there's never one bill that I take for granted, ever. So here, I just wanted to share you a little bit of my past, that I don't forget where I'm from. I don't forget what you all mean. I don't forget the lives that you guys live. I live in your house. I've lived. That's how I live. I'm nothing. I'm just a normal guy. I like to work, and I have a passion. I have a passion to live. I like living in this world. I don't listen to the news. I don't listen to any of the bureaucracy. I don't listen to stuff. It's not that I don't care to. Sometimes it's interesting. I really don't have time. I'm not against it, but I love this world. I love our country. I love what we've created. Yeah, there's pollution, there's crime, and there's all this stuff. But the people that are in crime and the people that are having a hard time in narcotics, like a meeting I went to, those men were trapped. They didn't want to be addicts. And we look down on people that are substance abusers and the opium, you know, all the opioids that people use. A lot of them are trapped in there because they were injured, and they take them, and then we say, "Oh, we don't want them anymore," and they need to be embraced, and they need to be they're like us. They just got in a bad way. So I've learned over 57 years, you know, no matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, no matter anything that's happened in your past, you know, we're all the same. We're all in the same boat together, you know. Now, some of us are hard to get along with. I got to grant you that. But we're together on this. And that's why this community, what I've started here is, I wanted to be off-grid is because, and we can get into some of this now if I have time to tell you, is cost. This is off-grid because I want to have gravel roads. And because I don't have to put infrastructure in. So I lease the property. I don't have to buy the property for $400,000 and put another $800,000 in infrastructure. And then I got to charge $700 a month lot rent. So if I come in here and I sell you my solar system for just a little bit more than what I pay, just so we can have labor to put it in, the water system a little bit more than what I pay. Now you've got your power and your water, and you go anywhere in the United States to live, like we talked earlier. You come in here and I can only charge $200 a month to live. And I think with disability checks and retirement checks, even on a low salary that you're working in the area, you can afford that. Right. No electric bill, you know, no water bill. Isn't that cool? Yeah. And I'm like, that's a win-win. So I can make some money that I can regenerate back into my company, back into the community, and this is, you know, I'm doing this as a business, but it's to keep the costs down low. Like the solar, the battery alone is a $10,000 battery. If you buy it in the United States, a lithium battery that John's got for us. We pay $2,000 for it. I charge you $2,000 for it. The whole system's about $7,000. We charge, I think, $8,200 because it's just labor involved, and that's it. It's just like all the amenities on our homes that we build. When I have that $25,000 base price of a 16-footer, okay, there's a profit I have in that. I figured a profit. That's all I want. If you guys want marble tops, if you want granite, if you want a golden toilet, if you want anything in there, right? Add it yourself and pay for it for what you pay for it. If it's a toilet, I'm not going to charge you any more to put in it because we put toilets in anyway. So the labor's already figured in it. So that's my niche. Why should I charge you? Granite tops is going to be $3,000. I'll tack on another 30% just because you must have money if you want granite tops, right? So I'm going to stick it to you. That's not, I don't care if you're a millionaire or if you're on fixed income. This is what we got. If you want it, I'm not charging any money. You guys order it, we'll bring it in, we'll plug it in. And it seems like it's worked because we have a factory down here, and I wanted to tell everybody, if you do want to go see our facility, you can drive down. It's 5.3 miles down. If you go out the gate, turn left, 5.3 miles on the right. And we got our big facility, if you all would love to go see that. Oh, yeah.
You got the stacks.
Yeah, the big smokestacks are on the right. We got some signs out there you can follow to go in. It's an old factory. You've seen it on Facebook. But that's where we work. It rains inside when it rains outside. All right? I pay $2,700 a month for 70,000 square feet.
Okay, now.
Okay? Yeah. It's bad, and our bunk rooms are made out of scrap lumber and scrap metal and everything, and I can't believe people want to come there and stay with us, but they do, and we have a good time. It seems like it's been working, you know, to build your own home. So, but that's what we started, my mind, when I first built that first house, and it went to Durham, I seen all this. I seen the communities that was needed because you can't put them everywhere. I seen the financing, so we got Lean On Me financing. I offer financing. Do I have money to give for financing? No. What I do is I charge 50%. And the other 50% I can finance for 2 years. Okay? Now I can't get upside down because you all know 50% doesn't pay for the house I'm going to build you. I'm hoping that if I can get 6 or 8 months of payments back, then I'll break even. Now, I'm still not making money because breaking even doesn't pay for my overhead and the office and rent. It just pays for what built the house. But I'm taking a chance on you all because I'm still in the same place with no credit. I'm a good person. I'm a hardworking guy, but the banks wouldn't loan me any money. And I think a lot of us are like that out there.
Right.
We work hard. We got 2 and 3 jobs, but the bank won't loan us any money. And the bank won't loan you money on these tiny homes. I've called all the banks, and they all got different stories. From they don't know what they're doing, they don't know what they look like, they don't know how to be regulated or not. And it's what they're going to find out is the craze, the big drive to own these tiny homes. They're missing out on a lot of money.
Right.
You know what? They're going to wake up one day, but I hope they wake up after I can finance all of them. That's right. So. No, the communities and the you know, finish off kind of what I was talking, and then I'll end it here, is that my dream is to take these communities and add them nationwide. I want to take them in every state and every community that would allow me to come in. This is called a campground legally. When I go to the state of Tennessee and I'll say I want a campground. A campground, you can put a tent in a campground, right? You can pull a bus in a campground. You can live in a yurt, whatever you want to stay in. Well, they can't tell me we can't have tiny homes, right? Well, if I can legally get me a campground, I can legally park anything I want in this campground and rent it out. So that gives you all a home. So if I keep my costs down low, I can charge low. So my dream is to have communities in every state across this place, because I don't buy the land, I lease the land. And you know what I'm telling everybody on Facebook right now, my little secret, how I do business, you know? Go do it. If you can take my idea and do it, run with it. That's fine. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be on your heels. I'm going to push this harder than anybody can push, and I'll outwork you. I will. I promise. I'll outwork you. But I say, go. Take that idea. Let's see who can get there fastest. My idea is that I just want to dream that I would think it'd be so cool to have about 100 of these communities, right? One in Tennessee, Oregon, Florida, California. And then you get online and you say, hey, I see you're leaving Oregon. Can we swap out lots? Yeah. So we swap. So people are traveling all over the United States. I talked to a young lady this morning, and she said, I love to travel, and I want my tiny home to travel. Yeah. Well, you constantly just pay $200 a month. I don't care where you live. You can have any place you want. So you can go to Florida if you want, go to Arizona, California. So right now we're looking, Brian is going to be in charge of that as soon as the jam is over. Brian. Brian's going to look for land all over the United States, and we're going to find, we've got land, people are calling us now. We got land just south of Tucson. We got 10 acres, beautiful high desert. no utilities, anything. We don't need them, right? We can take any land that we want. I want to get land downtown LA is what I want. That's what I want. I want to get an abandoned industrial park. And I want to park tiny homes in there. And the thing is that there are a lot of young people, professionals, that want these tiny homes, that live in LA or these big cities, and the rent is, you know how the rent is, $2,500 for just a little room. So if we can walk in there and do that and say, okay, now everybody says, well, tax money and all this stuff. No, we'll pay our fair share of tax. I don't want to get away from that. But if they can have their tiny home there, so they don't discharge water, which nobody's doing that. They don't discharge water. They don't have to be hooked up to electricity. They can pull up on a concrete slab, have 50 homes, young people that are enjoying life right there in the middle of LA, or Phoenix, or Baltimore, or Seattle, or any city in the United States. Why won't they allow these? With our RBA certification, we can say, hey, they're third-party inspected by engineers, electrical engineers, structural engineers, fire marshals. Say, Randy, your homes are perfect because you have an egress window up in the loft, right? You have fire suppressant that knocks out the flames. We're doing all we can as a company to show the municipalities that we are not against you. We're building good homes, solid homes, and it's been time tested. We're almost on our 90th home in 2.5 years. Isn't that cool? So, have we made mistakes? Gotcha. Have we had callbacks? Yes. Have I had people that was mad at me? Yes. You know what? And I went back and back and back and back and fixed what I had. And we've changed and we've learned and we put gutters on our homes now. We never did before because nobody did. But I said, we got to have gutters because the water's just running down the side. There's no eaves, there's no overhangs on these homes. We did that. We've added all this different flashing. We got Brian now. We got John now. We got Tom. I got some really great people working that are into what we're doing. They're adding their energies. They're adding their expertise to our... I said, I don't want to put a solar... I had a lady in Houston, and she had a solar system, turned on her heat and air, her mini split in the middle of summer. In 4 hours, the battery was dead. I was like, man, and I had a guy do it for me. I didn't know anything about solar. I subbed it out. And he kept at a price range. I said, it doesn't matter. If it's not going to work, don't sell it to her. So anyway, she had to buy another battery and, work it up. And I said, no. So ended up, I got with John and I said, John, we got to have a system that if the sun does not shine for 3 days, there's no charging of the system, they got to live for 3 days. The battery. Now these cellular panels, they'll charge in a day like this today. They will charge energy. Actually, they'll charge more on days like this than a hot, intense, sunny day. So the technology is growing. But the lithium batteries, just like in the Tesla and electric cars, they're massive because you can drain them batteries. I'm getting out of my subject because John will tell you more about it. But they'll drain all the way down and all the way back up. Where a lead battery will go halfway. So we get more capacity in a battery that we're selling you all. And I'm giving it to you what I pay for it. Because I don't want to be in the solar business. I'm not a solar guy. I want you to buy a home from me. So if I could put solar on you just for a little bit more than what I pay for it, that'll buy you a house and get you self-independent. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about getting the communities going and traveling the country and having you guys travel the country because I think that's where they're at. And it's about what? It's about freedom, right? It's about not being like my dad was unhappy for 25, 30 years, unhappy every day he woke up and didn't like his job. I want everybody to feel like I do. When I get up, I work 7 days a week because I like what I do. I love it. I love getting up. I love seeing the guys working and happy and me working. And it's just something that's a dream that's come alive. And I know what it's like not to have a dream. So get a dream. Jump on the dream. And I think these tiny homes, for some reason, gives everybody a dream. Because it gives you financial freedom. Tell Dave Ramsey that. Where's Dave? Somebody said Dave Ramsey didn't like tiny homes.
Right.
He doesn't like tiny homes when they cost $80,000, right? That's a wrong investment. We build a house for 25 or 30, and if you compare it to the market that's selling 60 and 70, you've got an equity already built in your home of $20,000, $30,000. So you can buy a home from me, go out and sell it and make money. I wish you would. Everybody go out and just start buying and selling. All right? Keep me going. But it's true. So when you walk off our lot, you've got equity already built in your home. If you compare it with the market, a nationwide market. So yeah, Dave Ramsey, we are smart. You know, I'm thinking about money. You know what I think? I think about what you guys need. I think about, you're going to look at my product and you're going to say, why should I have your product? Well, because we're really good price. We're really good quality, right? I can get my money back out of it, because in 3 years from now, something might happen in my life and I got to get rid of my tiny home. You may not want to when you buy it, but you may have to sell your home. So always think about resale, right? And that's what I think about for you all, that you can resell this house, okay? Any questions? You guys have any questions for me? Anything at all? Yes?
Could you let the good people know what you're going to be doing in Atlanta, Georgia, November the 17th to the 19th?
I sure will. When we went to Decatur, we met Monique, and she came up to me and she said, can we build a house in Atlanta for the homeless? And it's really not the homeless, it's for men who've been incarcerated and lost their jobs and got families, and they were incarcerated for some small minor problems in their life, and they ended up losing their jobs, and now they're financially not fit to even raise their house, and they're living on the street. So they've asked us, she asked me, is there anything? And I said, yeah, we build a house in 24 hours. We'll come down and throw one up for you, you know. It's like my guy said, Randy, really? Said, yeah. Well, Shias went bananas down there in Atlanta, and you wouldn't believe the support they're getting. They got the mayor behind them. They got Lowe's behind them. Now I set her up with Lowe's. They've got all these big businesses that are excited about all this. And yeah, so isn't that awesome? So what I like about it is that the way we build homes, if you guys see this being built, we're going to take our technology or what we do and show the world how strong, how well built, how quick and how easy, but how good these homes are built. And the world can see it. Now, they can see it here, but you know, if I get down in Atlanta and the mayor and everybody can see how we build homes and then how we can help people with these homes. Now, we don't want, somebody said here today, somebody said that tiny homes are getting a stigma of just the homeless. They're built for the homeless. And I didn't understand it because most of them are too high priced. They're 80 and 90,000 bucks, as you all know. But that shows the diversity. You know, they're for the high end and they're for the low end, but they're built the same at Incredible Tiny Homes. They're all built the same. Now you can add your big windows and your granite and countertops and stuff, but they're really all the same. So yeah, November 17th through the 19th, we will be down in Atlanta building a home, maybe 5. Yeah.
Divorced, lost everything, living out of their car, they jaywalked and they were arrested for jaywalking, asking somebody for a cigarette, or trying to catch a sleep in the park after 11 o'clock before they could go to work. Those are the kind of guys that are waiting for trial. They haven't been convicted of anything. So what the guy that we're doing it for now, he's a painter, he's going to feel right with you, but he doesn't know he's going to have the house.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great? So
don't tell anybody.
Too late.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? And Tom and I, we built our first house. Took us 10 days to build it. And I looked on her in the industry's 90 to 120 days. Now some of these guys, as you can tell, they're massively detailed homes, beautiful cabinetries and all this stuff, right? But a lot of times I see them, they order their cabinets and have them shipped in. You know, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the time frame is. Why? But when she came to me and asked me that, I like a challenge. That's going to be what, in 2 weeks from now we're going to be doing that, you know. And next week we got a workshop at our own shop, building another one. And in December we got 2 more workshops, and I got 4 customs and 2 more coming in on, and we're selling more. I love it. I love the energy behind it and what we're doing here. So yeah, it's an honor for us to go to Atlanta and be a part of that. We want to set up a workshop in Hawaii. We're wanting to go there and build one right on the Lowe's parking lot in Honolulu and show that we can build 5 homes, and we'll probably make it 2 weeks there, okay? Yeah. So, well, thank you so much for everything. I don't know if there's
It'll be right back on.
oh, that's all right. Is there any more questions you guys got for me? Anything else? I'd be glad to answer them for you. John will be on next. He's going to talk about his water system. Look at him back there. Hey, can we get him a mic back there, Kurt?
I don't have any wireless.
Okay. Do you want to come up here and talk and then go back there and show it?
We're not doing it right now.
What's that?
I got a wireless in my bag if you need one.
You have a wireless line? Yeah, okay, if you want to help me set that up, we can make it happen.
We'll make him wireless so he can talk. That water system is awesome. Yes.
How late can we go to the warehouse to look at it?
You know, I would go there probably before dark. You know, you can go after dark. The thing is, it's hard to see where you're going and everything. So just leisurely go down there all day long if you like, right? That would be okay. Go down there.
I'd say till 6.
Yeah.
We need to go down there. I need to go down there and get some insulation for the guys. So I'll open up the big doors and everything. You guys can walk in and just check it all out. Sure. All day. And if you're camping here, we got 2 showers in the bunk room that you can use. So if you all need a shower, you can use the bunk room at the warehouse to take a shower. Okay?
Just on the back of that little board,
Any questions? You all good?
on the back side.
I can't express to you guys enough how much we are all, my guys and all of us, appreciate you all coming and being a part of what we're doing. It is an honor to be up here talking to you all. It really is. When we started this, my accountant, I got a young guy to Knoxville as accountant, and he said, Randy, you can't give a house away. Why are you doing that? I said, nobody does it. That's why I want to do it. And he said, God, he says, limit it to 2,000 people. Then you'll give it away because maybe you'll come up with enough money to cover your costs. And I started, I guess what, you know. And then I said, no, because then it'll look like a scam. You know, I could say, well, I never got 2,000, you know, so I'm not giving it away. So I said, nope, I'm giving it away. So if there's only 300 people that show up, we're giving it away. And that's just how you roll, isn't it? That's you take a chance and you go for it. So we're putting all our heart and soul in everything we're doing. We're hoping you believe in us. And you know what? If nobody else shows up, it's enough for having you right here with us. It's enough. It's been, to me right now, we're totally successful in this weekend. All right? And if you can stay around tonight, we're going to have our Freedom Fire right out here. Have a Freedom Fire, a big bonfire, and I want you guys, if there's anything in your life, like the NA guys that I met in Hawaii, if there's anything in your life that you want to get rid of, symbolically say goodbye to, maybe it'll help when you're amongst other people saying goodbye to things in their life that's been hurtful in your life, that maybe things that have been who knows what it is. And just put it in that fire, and we're going to let it go. And I think because we're together and like-minded in spirit in that time, I think sometimes it just means more inside you know, than doing it alone in your living room at home. So right now you're amongst people. We're all broken. We've all been through a lot of stuff in our life. But it doesn't matter because today's a new day, right? Today's a new day to start over. We're excited about life. We're excited about maybe the opportunity of living a different life and having freedom. And I hope everybody in here, please, get to know everybody. Because you all got some great stories, you know, and share and talk. That's why I want you guys to camp out, is to sit and talk to each other. Take the time to get to know everybody. All right? Thank you so much. Brian wanted me to tell you, everybody, the food trucks are here. So you can, what do we got, Brian?
Barbecue over there.
Barbecue.
Mama Galina's Italian food over here.
Mama Galina's Italian food is over here. So
Pizza, Jet's Pizza.
the water talk, they're going to mic him up right now. He'll be here just in a couple minutes. We'll get him worked up.
Later.
Yeah.
They don't have a schedule of the time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be after lunch. I don't think you read the schedule.
Of course. Are you serious? No,
Man, are we scheduled for an hour from now?
Yes, 1 o'clock.
Oh, he'll be talking at 1 o'clock. Okay, so go take a break, go look around, and at 1 o'clock, John will be talking about the water, okay? Okay.
Having a kid, you can guess other kids' ages pretty well.
Yeah, we got a 13-year-old and we got a 26-year-old. They were in the process of buying more. I'm like, how do we get done?
Get in last night all right?
Oh, wow. That was crazy.
All right, we'll talk. Okay.
Do a sound check to make sure that we
Okay,
can hear him clearly.
that'd be good. Okay. Hey everybody, we are back on Facebook Live and we are getting ready. John is getting ready to speak and he's going to talk about the water system, and I'm not going to video from way back here. I'm just going to announce him, and then I'm going to go back there so we can look at the system and listen to him talk about it. He's all wired up. They've got him wireless and all set up. And they're going to do a sound check, but I thought I would go ahead and come on so you can kind of watch. Everybody's eating. Look at Heidi. I hate to put you on Facebook Live. I put Heidi. This is Brian's wife right here. Got her on Facebook Live. She's eating. I'm going to turn, but I had to get somebody eating.
Hey, John. Hey, John, give me a check if you don't mind.
Doing a sound check? No problem. They're doing a sound check back there. Everybody, Brian is making coffee like
Give me a couple
unbelievable.
more if you don't mind, John.
You would think
Testing,
Brian
1,
is
2.
working for Starbucks. I mean, Brian.
Don't hold it to your mouth. Just talk normal like you're going to be doing.
And it's
your job.
it's
All right.
rainy and it's
Testing.
cooler
Testing.
and it's really great, but everybody's wanting coffee, and I mean, Brian's keeping it cranking. We've got Scott and his wife Lisa is here that helped. He was helping with building on the Highland House. So they're here. Pretty sure from Illinois. Scott's back there. He's in the orange jacket. His wife is Lisa back there. His sister and his mom is here. So we're glad they're here. But everybody is waiting for John to get going. There's John's wife. Right there is John's wife. And look at his little boy. My God, is he not the cutest? Is he not the cutest? Oh my God, he's so cute. So adorable. Oh, he's so sweet. Hi. So I kind of just wanted to show you everything that's going on. Hey, thank you. Kurt is helping. Hey, Kurt was great in the band last night singing. It was fantastic. Everybody really enjoyed it. He's been doing great. He's loud. Okay.
Hey, run away.
Hey, how are you doing? I got you on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. Forever on Facebook. Hey guys.
Hey, I gotta tell you something. I decorated the bunkhouse.
Did you? I seen that. Did you
And
know that?
there's spiders everywhere.
Listen.
So we put spiders in Randy's bunk.
She put caution tape and everything. I saw it this morning. That is awesome. I was wondering who did that. That's a hoot.
And there was little kids there last night. So
Were they? Oh, good.
He's got spiders in his bed that glow in the dark.
That's exactly what he needs. I seen it this morning. That was fantastic. Oh, we got all these people here. It is fantastic. Everybody, it's raining. Oh, I saw him. So cute. And the little girl, adorable. Oh, there's Kelly. Kelly right there is already put a deposit down for the community. There's her mother. They came and volunteered. Hey, Kelly. Kelly and her mom right there. Hey, and
Check
Mary
one,
right there. Hey, look, they're trying to turn. Hi. Hey, how are you? Oh my God, so sweet. Thank you for being here. Kelly's put her deposit down already for the community. And everybody's waiting for John to speak, and I'm going to announce him in just a little bit. They're trying to get the sound check all going, but I will get back down. Brian, you might have to help me down, and then I'll go back there and after I announce him. Yeah, after I announce him, yeah. Otherwise, I'm living up here, so this is my new home. Everybody is waiting. Brian's got coffee going. I don't know how those things work. I have no idea.
If I walk away with anything, it's like, here, can I have the singer?
There you go. Hey, Kurt.
That's all I want.
That's it. Hey, he's coming back up here.
You know what? For a few minutes.
Look at everybody here. Everybody is. It is not raining bad at all. We're at 2565 Highway 160 in Newport, Tennessee, 37821. There's Joe. Good morning, Joe. Or afternoon, Joe. Hey. And we are not stopping. It is the build. See the guys, the build is going on still. They are still working. Randy and Sam are over there talking to customers. Randy's doing drawings. We got people ready to listen to John. And I said, are you good?
Are we ready, Amanda?
I think so. All right, here we go, everybody.
I'm not as good at this as Randy, so y'all have to bear with me.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Hey. Everybody, we on Facebook Live and everything. Oh, God. Brian's going to get it. Brian's making coffee and Facebook Live. Hey, everybody. I just want to go ahead and announce we're going to get started with John. John is going to start talking about the water system that I know everybody is so curious and has many questions about. John, are you talking about just the water system or solar as well, or both?
We can answer questions
Okay.
on solar. Due to some technicalities, we hadn't got our inverters yet, so I could show you one like what we're wanting to add in the future, but I don't have the actual one that we're doing right now.
Well, that's absolutely fine. Everybody's got lots of questions. Ask. John's going to go through his whole presentation, and then he's going to take questions afterwards. Matt is passing out what pamphlets that we have that have some of it. So share with someone. I'm not sure if we have enough for everyone, but I'm going to turn it over to John. Hey, Janelle. Hey, how are you doing? She got great hair. But anyway, everybody, John's getting ready to get going. And so everybody come on in and get ready for your questions and everything. And John, you just take it away with the water system. Incredible Tiny Homes water system. Thank you. Thank you.
The pamphlets that Matt is passing me out have all the unpronounceable words.
Oh my God, thank you.
Sorry, I'm not great at some of those. So feel free to look through.
Thank you, Brian.
Pretty much everything, like the urine, the fecal matter, all that gets
Make my way
taken
through.
off in the filtration process. As far as having a good presentation.